Alright, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another quick live stream. First and foremost, if you're new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. We'd love to have you here and join our awesome community of like-minded individuals. And one of our first links in the description box is our totally free Discord group chat. It's an awesome chat filled with about 30-40 members in there currently. Talk about various subjects from thrifting, pretty much any way to make money online other than from a job at the end of the day. And that's what the goal is financial freedom, of course. So if you're into all that, like I said, consider subscribing and checking out that group chat and see if you like what you see there. But man, what an October, right? So obviously we have broken pretty much just about every support other than our major one around 2600. Well, 260 on SPY and 2530 about on S&P, which is about 252 to 53 on SPY as well. And I mentioned this, I don't know if I mentioned it on this actual live stream last week, but I mentioned it in Discord. I said, call me crazy now. This was when SPY was still around like 280 going down, I believe, somewhere between 270 and 280, still actively trending down. And I said, call me crazy now, but I would not be surprised at very lows. And I'm still sticking by that in all honesty. Friday. I still say I continue to say I feel like if we break that max support, which on the S&P 500 would be around 2530, somewhere around there, like 2520, 2530, if I recall. If we break those down, you could see a very, very, very quick, massive drop in the market, probably from the all-time high, probably like a north of 30-40% correction. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully, like I said, I think overall, I think we're going to find a solid support right around the 255 to 260 range. I'm leaning more towards 260 personally, but I do not think the selling right around 265. If I remember right, in the after hours, we popped up to 266. Yeah, 266.37. I just don't think the selling's done. I think we're going to continue to flush early next week. And I think, like I said, between 255 and 260 is going to be where we'll finally gain some support. So what does that mean for you? Does that mean you should just completely sit out, just wait until the markets overall continue to flush out? Not necessarily. I would say starting Monday, Tuesday, start looking for deals. I'm not saying invest in SPY. I mean, that's more of like if you're trying to do your own retirement, I guess. But start to look at stocks that are on sale. Stocks have been getting hammered, like Netflix. What is their ticker symbol? I can't even think right now. Netflix. It's under $300. I mean, it's been a long time since it's been under $300. So, I mean, it's on sale. It's been getting just smacked the last few weeks, month or so, actually. It's what? Off of all-time highs, over 100, pretty close to $130 off of all-time highs. So, I mean, if you say it dropped, because more than likely, let's be real, I'm thinking Monday is probably going to be more flushing. Monday or Tuesday is going to be lots of flushing, is what I'm thinking. So you can probably see this get around 275. I think we're going to see a support right around 270 to 275. So say you waited, you let it bounce, try to catch some support and then you hop in, say around, let's say you waited for a good little recovery, say you got in around 284, 285, and you held it to a pretty strong resistance. There's going to be some strong resistance around 380. Right there, you're already at 33% profit. And if you hold, just continue to hold until the next resistance you're going to see around 420, you're looking at almost a 50% return. Now, is that going to be guaranteed to happen in a week, 2 weeks, months even? Who knows? But long term, you know that this is a company that's probably going to continue to go up for years and years and years, probably for at least the next 5 to 10 years. So it's definitely a good play. It's time to look at things that are on sale. Do I think this is going to be a crash? No. Like I said, overall, as long as S&P 500 stays above that 25-30 range, I mean, we're fine. I mean, what is it even at right now anyways? It's at 26.58. So, I mean, it's got a whole nother 100 points to drop before we even start to even get a little worried. But, anyways, what's some other ones that have been on sale? Snap. I was talking about possibly hopping in a position on Snap just because it's, I mean, how much lower can it go, right? It's one of those stocks that, I mean, yes, eventually it could go private, but I don't really see that happening anytime soon. Honestly, I'm thinking that someone's going to end up buying them out, like a Google, like possibly, maybe at some point a Facebook. I don't know. I don't really see Facebook doing it because of Instagram, but I see some big company buying out Snap in the future. They're just wanting to get around that $5 mark. I mean, it's around it was at 577 lows. So, I mean, you got to think at the end of the day, I'm not saying take a huge position or anything in any of these stocks right now, but it's definitely time to go back to the drawing board and just look for deals at the end of the day. Another one, Ford. Ford is around $9. I saw it around $8, and I took a little position on it. In all honesty, I wanted to take a huge position on it, but obviously I'm paying off debt and whatnot. I'm limiting myself to a very small amount of dollars until I pay off debt, and then I can start investing $1,000 to $2,000 a month into my trading account if I want, or more if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. 1,000 to 2,000 is more than enough per month if you ask me. But Ford, I mean, overall, good company, of course, if I remember right. They just had the dividend, correct? And their earnings were a miss. I mean, it wasn't a horrid miss, but I mean, they missed their earnings slightly. But if I remember right, the guidance wasn't bad or anything like that. So, it's, again, just go with, this is just the 1 year chart. I was looking at the 3 year chart. You can see it's on a steady decline, which is not good. Do I think it's going to get back up to like $15? Probably not. But do I think $8 to $9 is definitely a good buying range? Definitely, because I think it's going to probably try to retest $9 to $10. You're going to see it probably get stopped out right around $10 to $10.50. And say you got in at $9, say it opens up at $9 on Monday, and you decide to hop in, you're going to be looking at a return of what, roughly 20% if or when it comes back up to that. And you catch the dividends as long as you hold that, right? So that's always awesome. Let's throw out some other ones. AMD. What did I tell you guys about AMD? What happens every single time this POS stock pops? It comes back down to earth every single time. And it's not that like it's a horrible company. It's just, why try to fight against what happens every single time? So you can see last time it popped up over 40 bucks, boom, crashed. Popped up over $30 this time, boom, coming back down. Where do I think it's gonna stop? Probably around $5 again. Do I think it's gonna happen like just instantly? No. You can see it tried to recover briefly and then just kept selling off over and over. But I mean, we can go back even further. Let's go back 20 years. So I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this happened multiple times. Yeah, you can see, boom, hopped up over 30, came back down, clear down under $4, came up over 20. It didn't come back down quite as much, around 14, 15, and then it had a really good move up. I mean, it just happens time and time again. This stock was heavily overbought, unless if you're looking at a short term, maybe a day trade, very short term swing trade, you're going to hold it for a few days, because an 8.5% drop in one day, that's a massive drop. I mean, it's not it's pretty big, though, to say the least. I mean, that's a big enough drop where you can take advantage of it, probably buy some around $17.50, and you'll probably gonna have one of those days where it goes up through that bounce day at the minimum. But overall, I pray that whoever was holding this when it was in the 20s and 30s, I pray that they covered the profit and didn't try to hold or buy more on the way down. I mean, I called it. I called it as soon as it reached over like 25 bucks. I was like, it's going to come back down eventually. I didn't even think it was going to reach north of 30 personally, but it did, and ultimately it's definitely filling the gap, to say the least. I think at the minimum it's coming back down to $15, to say the least. I mean, their earnings didn't meet expectations. Guidance sucked ass. I mean, there's just no reason to actually have much hope in this company right now. However, what's the one that's on sale that's potential buy? Grubhub. Grubhub recently, I mean, you can see it damn near tripled over the last 8 months or so, from a low of 58 all the way up to a high of almost 150. It's coming off of its highs majorly. I think it's going to find a support ultimately around $75, maybe $80. That is when I personally look at considering buying this stock. It's another one that you could probably play a short-term bounce on. There's a lot of potential short 1 to 2 day trades out there. I mean, it's definitely a day trader's market right now. Volatility is a day trader's dream. But for those of you that are looking more for swing trades or just good investment opportunities, trying to like build a retirement fund of your own little hedge fund, so to speak, for yourself, Grubhub is definitely one to consider. Like I said, I don't think it's necessarily a buy yet, but if you're looking to buy and hold for a long time, I would look for a support right around, I would say maybe 80 bucks, 75 to 80 bucks. You're going to see, because it was a pretty strong resistance for a while, and then finally after good earnings, bam, it bounced up and it just kept going. So I would let it come down just a little bit, but either way, even if you bought it right now, and let's say it only returns half of its all-time high, which, let's say, okay, so that's about what, 30 bucks. Say you got a $30 return and you bought it right around $88, so it went up about 30 bucks. You're looking at a 35% return. I mean, that's definitely not bad. So it's still a stock market picker's dream right now. This whole year really has been a stock picker's market. I mean, really the last 2 years or so, but I've obviously only been trading here this last year. Nike, I still wouldn't buy right now. Apple, I wouldn't buy it right now. For me, like the stocks like Apple, that's why also I think the market can still go down, because a lot of these companies have been holding in really strong. Apple's been holding strong. If I remember right, Microsoft's been holding pretty strong. Tesla obviously has been doing. Tesla's not really a quote unquote. I see it for what it is, a car company. I also think it's massively overbought, but I mean, there's a lot of companies that are big. I mean, Walmart's hanging in there strong. A lot of big reputable companies are still hanging in. They haven't really gotten smacked super hard yet, and I think here in the next day or so, they're probably gonna get their turn, so to speak. I mean, Apple is still gone down, what, about $20 or so off of its all-time high, pretty close to $20, but I mean, that's still only about, what, 9 or 10% that it's off of its all-time high. So we'll see. We got the earnings coming up here and this upcoming week, actually, right? How's it going, Josh? Good afternoon, good morning. Feels like it's afternoon, but it's not. Let me make sure that we got, okay, we're still doing all right. My internet was acting up this morning, so I wanted to make sure that everything's doing good. I'm going to check it pretty frequently just to make sure my internet's not dropping. It was doing so bad I couldn't even do a speed test this morning, so I had to call and get everything reset. It's still updating, actually. But, I mean, Disney's been holding in very strong as well. I mean, it's only $6 off of all-time highs. So, I mean, there's still a lot of opportunity for this market to still go down. I mean, really, what's been bringing the market down is obviously the financial sectors, your technology. FANG, of course, has been getting just plummeted. I mean, Amazon, good lord. If you've ever been wanting to get in on a little bit of Amazon and you got the money, I don't have the money, obviously, yet, but if you're looking for a good buying opportunity for Amazon, I don't think it's right now still, in all honesty. I think Amazon is still going to come down. I think, like, stocks like Amazon, Alphabet, those ones that are north of $1,000, those I would wait on personally until we actually do have the quote-unquote true meltdown. Now, you can play options on them maybe if you want. Even the option prices are stupid expensive right now on those. But as for buying them, there's just no way I would consider buying these over $1,000. It's just insane. I mean, given it's about $400 off of all-time highs, but there's just no way you're going to convince me to buy Amazon at $1,600 a share. I mean, they keep smashing earnings, but there's just no way. I mean, I'd rather miss out on it than, I mean, truly, if you didn't invest before $1,000, like right around $700 back when they took over Whole Foods and all that, you pretty much missed the ship at that point. But it's whatever. Like I said, companies like Amazon, Google, wait until the big one to actually try to get into those. At least that's my 2 cents on it. Planet Fitness is getting near a buying territory. Trade Desk, TTD. Actually, I thought it was lower than what it is. But you can see, it's had a hell of a year. And I've set alert way. Actually, I don't even know when I set this alert. I think it was back when it popped here, and I thought it was going to come back down. But I can go ahead and get rid of that. But Trade Desk has been having a hell of a year. The earnings, as you can see, they've been doing pretty decent, beating expectations the last, 2 or 3 quarters. They smashed earnings. I remember this back in May. They just straight up smashed the earnings on that. This one, if I recall, wasn't too bad. Yeah, they beat it by 4 cents. And then, of course, you have one coming up here in like 2 weeks. So, in my opinion, this is probably a good buy. I want to see it come down to around 100 though, personally. But if it doesn't, say it gets close to 100, 105, somewhere in there, to me, that's a buy. Especially come with that you got in around, say you got in at 105, invested. Let's say you get some, apparently we just got disconnected. Hopefully we are doing alright. Somebody just, let me know if there's any issues. Like I said, I just seen that we got disconnected for a minute, but it looks like we're back up. Like I said, I apologize for that. I know my internet is going through like some apparently massive update. It was like stupid bad this morning. It was like 5 Mbps, and now it's at 200 to 300, but it's still lagging. But like I was mentioning, let me go ahead and check the stream health too. Shows that the stream is resumed, so hopefully we will. Bit of lag for a minute. Okay, so yeah, hopefully it's gonna get back on track now. Hopefully that's the only one we have. I'm not gonna keep this video, the stream going too much longer. I was just pretty much trying to at least like just show you guys. I mean, there's tons of buying opportunities out there. When's the last time Caterpillar has been around $100? I mean, you have to go back to, let's see, right around here. You have to go back to over about a year and a half ago when the last time Caterpillar was around $100. So I mean, to me, it's a good time to at least consider buying into some Caterpillar. Let's see here, dividend was paid out, earnings. Seeing their earnings, I mean, they missed, but I mean, I didn't hear the guidance, but I mean, their earnings barely missed. So I mean, I think overall this is another one that I'd probably look at buying at around $100, 105, $100, somewhere in there personally. Just simply because when I look at that 3-year chart, you can see right around there we had a little bit of resistance for a while. This is a week chart, so you can see for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 weeks, for about 2 months, it was just kind of stuck around 105 to $100 or so, and then finally it just started going up. So I see that's going to be a pretty solid support overall. Like I said, between 100 and 110 bucks is where I would consider buying some Caterpillar, or placing maybe like a long-term call if you're more the options person like myself, or even set yourself up a little iron condor where, say, you have your price between 95 and 130. I don't know what the credit would be on that or anything like that. You just have to play around with your dates and whatnot. But let's try to find one more. Actually, I want to talk about XOP and oil. So you all know that I mentioned I didn't think oil was going to go under 65. What did it do? It touched 65 and bam, it came back up. What did that mean for XOP? What did I say for your range on XOP for Iron Condor? $35 to I did say 35, right? 35 to 45 was what I said, if I remember right. But just because you want to have enough range, I think I said that. If I didn't, definitely let me know. I might have said 39, and if so, that would have definitely been wrong. But I thought I had said 35 because resistance would become support. But yeah, that's pretty much what I was getting ready to get at. You can see that we had some pretty strong resistance right around $35 back in, what, spring, if I remember right. So now this is going to be a new support, right? And I mentioned oil probably not going to go under 65. It didn't. It got right at 65 and bam, bounced. Now it's at like 66. So XOP 35, bam, it's bounced up to almost 36 bucks. So what would that mean for if you wanted to place an iron condor? I would probably still I would maybe just possibly, if you're looking at setting up a new iron condor this upcoming week for XOP, since obviously supports can be broken, the next ultimate support's going to be around 32 bucks. I would look at doing a iron condor just to be safe. I would do it between like $30 to $32 and probably 40, because now this $40 is going to become what, a new resistance again. Even if oil does have a good rebound, it's going to have some pretty strong resistance around 40 on XOP, which for oil would mean what? Would mean around 70. You're going to see some resistance now. So I would just do like a tight range of between 30 and 40 bucks, 32, 42, something like that. Give yourself a good $10 wiggle room. I would probably do a two week out play or something like that, so you can collect a little bit of credit, because with that tight of a range on a 1 week, you're not going to really get much credit at all. You might get a 5 or 10% return, which isn't bad by any means, but I just like collecting more premium, of course. But other than that, yeah, I mean, overall, I'm not like shook or surprised or anything like that. I mean, I'm a little surprised that we've had this big of a correction. Like, the correction's already been this big. I mean, overall, like I said, we're from a SPY standpoint, we're about 30, pretty close to 30 points off of the all-time high, which I don't know from a percentage standpoint what that is. 30 divided by 290, let's just say 294. So it's already been about a 10% correction for SPY and S&P 500 overall. Looks very similar to back in February. Looks a little bit uglier to me, but like I said, I don't think the selling's done. I think from the SPY standpoint, we're going to settle around 255 to 260, which for S&P 500 would be around like 255 to, 2555 to 2600, somewhere in there. I mean, we still have lots of room to continue to sell. Like I said, around $100 is what we could still come down before we even consider getting too worried. So overall, I don't think the markets are in like a doomsday situation or anything like that yet. Like I said, if we drop another, say Monday or Tuesday, we drop a 90 points on the S&P 500, then yeah, it might be time to start getting a little bit worried. But like I said, ultimately, as long as we stay above 25.30, 25.35 area, I mean, you got 120 points to go before you even start to really get worried. So overall, I think it's just, for now, a healthy correction. I think there's a lot of good buying opportunities out there, as long as you just pick the good ones, of course, and don't try to force anything. I wouldn't buy into Boeing. I wouldn't buy into, I'm just looking at my chart, I wouldn't buy into Boeing. I wouldn't buy into John Deere probably right now still. I'd stay away from Google and Amazon. I wouldn't buy into Verizon. Verizon's hardly came down at all. But there's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of ETFs too that are on sale right now. So it's just about picking what you like, picking what you know, and whatever your capital allows for at the end of the day. And it's definitely still a good options market too. I know we've had a few of you on Discord that were talking about the money you've been making on some short S&P or SPY plays over the last week or two, actually. So that's awesome stuff. But with that being said, I'll probably go ahead and wrap this up. We've already been on for a whopping half an hour already. So, like I said, thanks again for all the support everybody's been giving this channel over the last year or so. We're up to, like I said, close to 415 subscribers now. That's awesome. If you're new to the channel and watch this whole stream, definitely consider subscribing below and leaving a comment. I love just interacting with you guys on here. And like I said, Discord is the best place to reach me and network with a bunch of like-minded people. We have our Discord group chat, one of the first links in the description box. And I didn't talk about Tastyworks or what I've been doing this last week, so just briefly before I end the video. So I connected my bank account, my Chase bank account, to Tastyworks, And because Chase messed up and put my name as Griffin Thomas Jr. for some reason, it was getting rejected by Tastyworks. It wasn't allowing me to connect the account, so I had to email them, and they were like, oh yeah, it's just popping up that like it might be not your account, so just send us a copy of your last bank statement. So that delayed me like 1 to 2 days, and then I had to actually connect the account, which took like a day to process. And then I finally deposited just 50 bucks. Like I said, I'm limiting myself, period, to $50 to trade with until I finish paying off debt here in the next month or two at the most. I'm literally down to like one credit card and I think like $800 on the other. So, I mean, super close. Gonna have the debt paid off for sure by the end of the year. But I'm limiting myself to just that $50, and I'll keep you guys updated on what moves I do this upcoming week, because I just initiated the $50 deposit Thursday night. So it took Friday to process, and it sounds like Monday's going to be available. So I'll let you guys know what I decide to do with the rest of that money. Of course, like I said, I did have some money also tied up in Ford. Other than that, though, I don't have like anything that I'm trading with other than that $50. So, like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, definitely make sure to smash that like button. I greatly appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, like I always say, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making those profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom this year. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Sunday Stock Watch. Take it easy, guys.